I will in a minute, probably, if you want to get it. Yeah, we only got about 1 minute. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Kathy Stanley Galvin, Mayor of the Town of Stoneville. On behalf of the Town of Stoneville and myself, we'd like to thank each of you for joining us this evening. At this time, please be respectful and silence or cut off your cell phone. As Mayor, I'll call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, September the 9th. Let us stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mayor Pro Tem will lead us in prayer.
We are all called to follow Jesus, called to move as he did among the people, to feel them, care for them, to touch them, and be touched by them. Call to discover and share those gifts of our hearts, our hands, and ourselves, and place them in God's hands for which they came. To blend our gifts and our talents to build our community and our town. We ask this in your name.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from August the 5th?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilman Shelton, a second. Councilwoman Smith, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for this afternoon? I have a motion from Councilman Thornton, a second. Second, Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. At this time, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to come down front. I'm going to do the proclamation, and I'm going to also do the oath of office. So we'll start with the proclamation. In recognition of Constitution Week, whereas September the 17th, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the we're going to start with the public hearings. First, we're going to start with case number Z2025-02, and this is a consideration of rezoning request for applicant CRGG Development LLC, and this is to rezone parcel 125910, tax pin 793-807-573566, and it's 40.6 acres, give or take, for residential suburban, residential agriculture to residential suburban conditional zoning district. And we'll go ahead and make a motion to go in to public hearing. Then we'll have Mr. Rakestraw step up if anybody has any questions. So at this time, do we have a motion that we're going to go into public hearing?
So moved.
So we have a motion from Councilman Thornton, a second from Councilman Shelton. All in favor? Opposed? So we're now in public hearing. And I have some sign-up sheets here. I'll go ahead and have, do you want to come up, y'all, or do you want me to go ahead and we'll do the sign-up? I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, Mr. Rakestraw.
Okay. First, I appreciate the opportunity to come before you tonight. My purpose is to rezone the approximately 40 acres on Ponderosa Road to allow a 81-lot, single-family home subdivision. Just a broad overview, the lots will be similar in size to what we're doing over here near the park in Stoneville. Also, the subdivision will be very similar to River's Edge on River Road. Square footage of the homes, 1,500 all the way up to 2,800 square foot, approximately. Price point, the upper 200,000 range. A couple of points, did meet with NCDOT on site, Jeremy DeLapp and Plant folks. We looked at the proposed entrance for the new street onto Ponderosa Road. We approved it. Common area, approximately 4 acres, is going to be a common area. We have an HOA, very comprehensive restrictive covenants. It's going to be over 50 pages. This will help protect the integrity and value of the neighborhood. There are 2 ponds on the existing property. We plan to keep those 2 ponds. Sewer capacity. And we been in touch with Bill Lester. He's the town engineer. He has confirmed that your Church Street lift station can handle the capacity of 81 additional homes. The planning board meeting last week with a couple of citizens expressed concerns about an ongoing flooding problem near the park, near the trailer park on the south end of Church Street. And it's been an ongoing problem. We noted that. I recommended we reach out to Jeremy DeLapp with NCDOT, kind of work together. I think there's a pipe down there that needs replacing. And anyways, summary, I think it's a great project, great investment for the town, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I have a couple. My first question, you're going to have an entrance off the Ponderosa Drive. Are you going to have anything off of Church Street?
No, sir.
So you're going to just have one entrance in and one entrance out? Is that what you're going to have?
For now, our hope is to acquire the adjoining property one day from Mr. Stanley, and at that point, DOT would require us to add a second entrance.
Okay. My question, have we spoken with the fire department to make sure that they're okay with the ingress and egress going in and out of that particular facility, or have we got to that point yet?
The fire department's aware of it, also, the fire marshal is aware of
They're
that.
aware of it?
She looks at that, yes, she's looked at the radius of the turns.
And they were okay with that, and Public Works has been made aware of it, and they're okay with being able to make sure that we can do the taps for water and sewer and everything in there.
Yes.
Okay, so and you're looking like at about 81 lots, and they're about, what, a quarter of an acre probably, somewhere around there?
Roughly.
And they're gonna be just pretty similar to what you have, not the first project you did on Price Street, but the one that you're
Correct.
working on now.
That is correct.
And you're doing all the water and the sewer and all the roads and everything.
That's
there.
right. And then we would build all the infrastructure, the water, sewer, the streets, then we would turn it over to the town.
The town would accept it once
That's right.
everything was taken care of. Okay,
Good questions.
I'm fine with that. Thank you, Mr. Rakestraw. And I would just like to say that I think that it's great that we still have people investing in our town and bringing new homes to our town, because that's where the town actually benefits from a tax base, because we get that ongoing tax base every year, and that helps us to be able to do the things that we can from the tax base for our town. So thank you for pursuing this.
Any further discussion? Okay, we'll go to the public comments. First on the public comments, when I say your name, if you can tell me your address, would be Bobby Stanley. And, Daddy. I have a hard time calling my daddy Bobby. If you stand up there, you have 3 minutes to
Okay,
make
I got
comments.
you, 628 Bobby Stanley, 628 Young Road, Stoneville, North Carolina, 270, boy. And what I'm here for, I was on the planning and zoning board for the county 6.5 years, a county commissioner for. The county, it has to have development. Now I'm talking about the only way you're gonna get stores or whatever, get people, I guess. What this gentleman's asked it to do will meet or exceed the housing in this area where he's talking about. It'll be an improvement. I think it's 250, 75,000 or whatever. It's gonna be a tremendous improvement over the rest of it. I'm giving him a sewer right away down that branch out. In the long term, it'll help us to we got, like, well, I want to go to this. 2 1/4 cent of that sales tax stays here. 1/4 cent goes to community college, 2 cents stays here. The only thing in this town we've got right now producing it, and a lot of times it exceeds their property tax. $1 million at 2% is $20,000. The Dollar General hits that probably 2 or 3 more times. Maybe Claybrooks Garage. And I don't know how the hardware is doing. I don't see a lot of cars. We hope he stays here with more people. And when you go to housing, I got a few trailers. I'm not impressed with them, to be honest with you. I think housing is the best way to go. It's just a better tax base. Everything about it's better, and it's support for the business here too. Stoneville used to be a thriving. When I was a boy growing up, that little house there at that golf course, town, every building was occupied. They had a ticket drawing every Saturday morning, and it would fill this town plumb full. 5 tobacco warehouse. Stoneville Furniture at its peak was about 850 people. Baxter Kelly. The buying power was built in, the place to thrive. And then you had the China trade deal, and it sucked everything in this county. The county's got the same problem towns and everybody else. It's bad, and if we don't get enough people to support these businesses, they will never come back. I'm pro-business, and I'm for what he's asking for. And I thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Charles, I'm gonna pass you since you spoke, correct? Okay. All right, next is Paul Ewan, and if Mr. Ewan, if you'll stand up and state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes to comment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
First of all, I'll give each one of you a copy of something I put together years ago about the drainage, the whole part of the town. All right.
It's okay.
Now, we've had, I agree with rezoning, but what my biggest thing is, all the water, if you look at those, all the water from this part of town goes right by my mobile home park. I've had it flooded, and we went to DOT about getting a bigger pipe where it comes right out at we're right here, and they said, well, they wouldn't do anything. And I say we need 2 60-inch pipes going under the road right there, it's Stone Mountain, Church Street, to cover the flow of water that's going to come out. If you get 2 inches of rain, we're flooded.
And I say approval should be contingent on getting the proper drainage set up. And the DOT, they told us years ago that, no, your pipe's big enough. Well, it ain't big enough, because we've had the water flood and go over the road on Church Street, right where it comes, and then just above there, where the pond is, there's a pipe coming in there. Both those pipes should be at least 60 inches to cover the flow of water coming through, because down the road, when you got all the development, all the streets and everything gonna be put in for this, it's gonna be a lot of more drainage, and the 2 inches of rain, you know how it rains around here sometimes, then we have a problem. And I'm gonna be the recipient of it, because I've had the whole lower part of my park flooded up to where they get in the doors to the mobile homes. And years ago, we had 2 big pipes. We finally got the town to take those out, because the Church Street said that they would like to go ahead and get property so that you get into the sewer plant, and so therefore they wouldn't have to cross over where the 2 pipes were. So that alleviated the problem of drainage coming through. But right now, those 2 pipes, they need to be bigger, and DOT, that's where it has to happen. So I think, and I just say, make it contingent on getting good drainage, and I don't have a problem. And I agree with the tax base it'll create for the town. The town has needed, over the years, more and more and more housing for tax base for the town. Thank you.
Thank you. This is all of the public comments. Do you have any further discussion? We'll come out of public hearing. Do you need to make a comment? Do you want to make a comment back to?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Mr. Ewan, so the flooding area you're talking about is pretty primarily in the entranceway at the bottom of Church Street. So my question is, there's possibly, I agree with you, there's water coming down from Ponderosa area, but is there water coming off of your park back to that area there? Because it's kind of in a low-lying area, and it's almost like it's trapped in there and it can't go anywhere. Is that not true?
No.
No?
The creek comes right down before, at the edge of the park, the creek comes down through there. And that's before, now where the whole park borders that creek line off of Ponderosa area.
So, once it goes under the road there at your entranceway, where does it go after it gets there? Where does the water go downhill any further?
It comes through the pipe, and there's a big drainage ditch, and it goes into the big creek that comes down from Church Street, Mobile Home Park, all that area up there. There's a big creek that's always come through there.
But I guess what I'm asking, like, there's a guy named Meat Hill who used to live down the road there. So does it go back down in there where his pond was, or where does it stop, and how does it get out of there? What I want to know.
Well, it's got to come through the pipe. There's 2 pipes, all of Ponderosa, all that area up there has 2 drainage pipes, and they're not big enough to handle the water if we have a big rain, especially if you develop roads and everything. And I'm not against development at all, because the town needs tax base. It should be contingent on making sure that the drainage is good. And DOT is the one that has the authority to put a bigger pipe in, I would say, because that's the way it is.
Well, if I may, Mr. Bennett, well, the town of Stoneville really doesn't have anything to do with Church Street, because that is a state-maintained road. So anything that's done on that road as far as drainage or anything, it's going to have to be done by DOT. And I think Mr. Rexstraw has done his due diligence. He's talked with DOT, and they're very aware of what's going in there. So hopefully they will do whatever needs to do to make sure that if there is a problem, that's taken care of. So I think, the developer has done his thing to get with DOT to make sure they're aware of it. and they know that this is probably coming, so I'm assuming, and hopefully, don't assume anything, but I'm hoping that DOT will do what they need to do to make sure that the wastewater, or not the wastewater, but the stormwater is being able to be carried downstream to that creek or wherever it needs to go, so that there won't be any problems in the future.
I agree.
Can I say something? I had Jason up, I was over the DOT at that time, it's been several years ago. That pipe goes under 2 or 3 of their trucks that night. They would have to, it's a 4-foot, I think James Sigel put them in there when he built it. And it's just not big enough for the water.
Yeah.
It builds up, it comes right down the roadside, the road just builds up.
But I can assure you, I probably shouldn't be talking, but Mayor can shut me up, but I'm sure DOT will do whatever DOT has to do within its property, but I don't think DOT is going to be able to go on to private property and do anything. That would be something that them and the proper owner, if it's on the trailer park, for them to come up with a solution to make sure everything flows like it should. But I agree with you, Ms. Stanley.
Any further discussion? Do we have a motion to come out of public hearing?
So move.
I have a motion from Councilman Thornton, a second from Councilman Farmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're
Well-
now out of public hearing.
I'd like to make, if it's appropriate to make a motion at this time,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion based on the findings and the recommendation provided by the Stoneville Planning Board to approve the rezoning request Z-2025-02 and the reasonableness and consistency statement as presented by the town staff for this project.
So I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Farmer. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second with Councilwoman Smith. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. We have another public hearing to go into tonight, so do we have a motion to go into public hearing? And this will be for case Z-2025-03, and this is a consideration of the rezoning request from applicant Advents LLC to rezone 3 parcels identified as tax pin 793-806-490-861, 793-918-309122, and 793-918-400-162. And this will be from residential agriculture to residential agriculture/conditioning zoning district. So at this time, do we have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilman Thornton, a second.
Second.
Second, Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're now in public hearing. At this time, I will ask Mr. Chris Davis if he can step up.
Evening, appreciate your time. I'm not the fella building new homes, I'm the fella making sure what we got doesn't cave in. So, what we're asking to have zone for conditional use is we've got, me and my wife bought the Presbyterian church, and we're renaming it the Meeting House. And what we're going to be doing with that, most everything we're talking about tonight is just reopening what they already were. We just want to make sure we have the blessing of the town, so we don't bump into any headwinds as far as what we're going to be doing with them. But the Presbyterian Church, the 206 East Main Street, we're going to be creating that to be a meeting house. And that's going to be a facility that's going to allow for it to be a wedding venue. It's going to be a larger church for smaller churches that can meet with it. It'll be part of the business development center, and then also provide community programming with such things as bluegrass festivals, holiday community, that kind of thing. Times for all the facilities, everything will close down at 9 at night. And then with everything vacated by 10, we realize it's still a residential area, and so we're making sure we maintain that as well. On that facility, we did purchase the property behind it from lot 2540. When we bought the Presbyterian Church, the back property line was only about 18 inches from the building. So we bought that lot 2540 from Marty Roberts and his organization. And so that'll be providing parking for the facility, and then we also have a legal standing with lot 2540 that we can use their parking lot in an overflow situation. So street parking should not really be an issue. DOT did approve 3 spots in front of the meeting house, and whether we use them or not, I don't know. But we did ask them to evaluate street parking and what that would look like. And then as we get open and using the facility, DOT will return to take a look at a possibility of a crosswalk between the meeting house and the next facility that we got into. Before we move on from the meeting house, if you take a look at this part for the meeting house, you'll see on the back of it, there's a 15-foot addition that's going to go on the back of that. Currently, the existing facility is 5 feet 9 inches from the corner, from the adjoining property to the left. We want to add 15 feet onto the back. We're going to bring it in almost 2 feet, and the back corner of the proposed addition would be 7 feet 5 inches from the property line. And that's not the 15 foot that's required in Stoneville, so we would ask that would be allowed to take place as well, so we could square that off and make that whole facility. We need the addition to put, so that we can get ADA bathrooms and that kind of thing into the facility. Currently, you don't. It could not reopen as it is and still meet use code for ADA and whatnot. And then across the street, one facility that you've already seen down that we want to put under conditional use is the Taylor House at 207 East Main Street. That one's going to be completed here in the next 2 weeks probably, and then it's going to go into be an Airbnb facility. Ultimately, it'll support the meeting house for when we have, we're hoping that what the meeting house will do, it will bring people into the community of Stoneville. The meeting house can be 125 to 150 people venue, and we're hoping that it'll bring those people into the community as well. We've already got a marketing director working with us as far as starting to get that ball rolling. But anyway, so the Taylor House will be a support for that, but it'll also be a standalone facility by itself as an Airbnb. We do the same thing in Madison. It goes over very well. It rents very good. And, a lot of different people come from all over the world. It was a family from Saudi Arabia that stayed there for 2 weeks, and they fell in love with the town of Madison. Thirdly, we recently purchased the Ruby Rose Tea Room House at 209 East Main Street. Our goal is to renovate that and turn that into a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath Airbnb with the eventual goal of reopening the tea room in the bottom. But it will be a standalone facility of its own right, because whereas the upstairs can be Airbnb, the downstairs can be a full events facility. Just like the meeting house will have a full kitchen, the tea room will have a full kitchen as well. We really see the meeting house and the tea room working hand in hand, very much so. And so it'll be attractive. They'll be architecturally great for a given their time period. The tea room, as we can understand it right now, was started in 1895. So we'll be bringing that back to life so that it can be enjoyed. We won't do much with the exterior. We're going to leave the appearances as they are for the small town. And then, but we'll be doing a major upgrade and modernization to the interior of the facility. And on the tea room, we have an agreement to buy from Mrs. Hilliard. She's in the brick home on the corner. We're going to be buying the back half of her property, and that's going to give us an exit. So there'll only be one entrance into the tea room, but the exit will go out on Simpson Street, so that'll help alleviate congestion as far as anything coming and going.
I have a question. I know you have the property behind the old church building. How many spaces do you think you're going to get as far as parking is concerned there?
Right now, I'm thinking that I can get close to 45.
Okay, because I know you say if you're looking at if you're at 125 maximum, you know, that's my only concern is the parking that you're going to have. And I know, how many additional spaces does the lot have that you're able to use? Do you know how many spaces they have back there?
Lot is equal.
They have about 45 spaces. So you'll have about a total of 90 and then plus whatever on-road parking that you would have?
Yes.
Okay, and normally when you have events, you're not going to have everybody coming in one car, so that would probably work out for your parking. Delia, does that meet our code for parking and everything for those type of use? And I think what you're doing is great. I think 2 of those facilities have been vacant for many, many, many years. The house more so than the church. And I think any time we have folks that want to come in and make the town of Stoneville better, we want to work with you and hopefully make sure that your venues are going to be great for yourself, but also for the greatness of Stoneville also. But thank you for pursuing this.
Absolutely. Any other discussion? We're good? We have no one signed up for public hearing, so I think we're good there. So at this time, do we have a motion to come out of public hearing?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Smith, a second. Second, Councilman Bennett, all in favor? Opposed? So we're now out of public hearing.
I'll make a motion based on the facts and findings and the recommendation of the Stoneville Planning Board to approve rezoning request Z-2025-03 and the reasonableness and consistency statement for this particular project as presented by staff.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Farmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second from Councilman Bennett. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And I agree with him. Thank you for what you're doing. You're making Stoneville a better place to be. We have no old business. We have no public comments tonight. So at this time, we're going to go to new business. First is the consideration to sponsor the Veterans Day Parade and fireworks. This will be presented by Mr. Howie Terry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Distinguished members of the board. I'm Howard Terry. I am the new owner of formerly Ray Funeral Home in Madison. But Stoneville's my people. Just I would say that. I bought the business in Madison, but I'm from Shiloh's. Stoneville owned me. Last year was the first year that we did a Veterans Parade. The town of Madison was gracious enough, being the first year, to provide money for the fireworks, which was $5,000. There was a group out of Greensboro, a veteran-owned group, that did the fireworks display. They have agreed to do it again this year for the same amount. But we are asking for sponsorships this year because obviously, Madison gave us the money the first year, but we're trying to get kind of everybody involved this year, from towns to small businesses. And I think that, having events like this where we can incorporate all 3 towns in Western Rockingham County, it gives us a little bit of leverage to compete with the other side of the county, Eden and Reidsville. So basically, I'm just asking for a corporate sponsorship from the town of Stoneville. I'll be asking Mayodan, and of course Madison's already agreed. Last year we included both the fire department and the police department in the town of Stoneville, as well as Mayodan, and we're just wanting it to be a lot bigger this year. We had about 80 entries last year, and it went over very well. So that's what I'm here for, and so if y'all will just consider that.
How much is your corporate?
So the corporate sponsor's 200, small business is 100. We tried to keep it as low as we possibly could. Like I said, we're trying to raise $5,000, and so it's not gonna take a whole lot to get there, but, the sponsorship includes, we have a Buck Shelton with the Maydan Town Council. He does drone video footage, so at the end of the parade, you know, he'll release a drone video and put music behind it. At the end, it'll have all the sponsors listed on there, and then of course there'll be a banner there the day of, plus Facebook recognition from the Madison Merchants Guild as well as me. All in favor?
I do have a question. If you can tell me, how much have you already raised?
About $1,200.
And
And
how-
I just started.
You just
this.
started?
So I'm gonna be hitting up a lot of the smaller businesses around Madison, Maydan, and Stoneville.
I have two questions. Where is this parade and fireworks? What area?
So last year, the only parking lot big enough to hold it was the Madison post office.
Okay.
So we started there, and the Boy Scouts led it down through right downtown Madison, and then the fireworks were shot up behind the Madison Town Clock.
Okay. Okay.
Is your objective to be like a break-even proposition on this? Or if you have any excess money, do you have a?
Excess would be to carry it on year after year. You know, and if we had the opportunity to, you know, buy American flags for the kids to hold or wave, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, the money would be with the Madison Merchants Guild to, we're separating the Veterans Parade from anything else, if that's your question. Yeah, so it's gonna stay with the Veterans Parade whether we use it this year or next year.
So you'll have a fund designated just for this particular item?
Correct, yeah, this
And
is.
is that, is that overseen by the Merchants Association then?
Mhm.
Okay. But if we decide to do this, we do write a check to the Merchants Association
Yeah, the
for the Veterans Day Parade? and
Yeah,
fireworks?
and the memo of Veterans Day Parade. Like I said, you guys don't have to decide it in front of me if you don't want to.
It's okay.
I don't have a problem with it. I think that, you know, I've got 2 or 3 more months left on this council, and I've been talking for 10 years now that I think that all 3 of our communities, the Madison, Maydan, and Stoneville area, we need to come together a whole lot more and combine our resources and do stuff to make this whole area better. And this might be something that can jumpstart that. So I'm going to make a motion that the town approve the $200 corporate sponsor for the annual Veterans Day Parade fireworks and parade. And I've already made the motion, but it would be nice if we called it the Western Rockingham County
I'll take that to the higher ups.
instead of it's not called Madison, right?
No.
But if we call it the Western Rockingham County, because, you know, we get left out of everything in Rockingham County, so I'm not sure, because, you know, with the chamber, it's Western Rockingham County Chamber, so
Right.
that's just an idea, so, but I'll put the motion on the floor.
And for the record, last year, he had all 3 mayors, and I cannot think of any other thing since I've been up here that he had Madison, Maydan, and Stoneville mayors participate in that.
Well-
So the towns had already come together way before, so it is a great event.
And the only thing that I'll say, we're recognizing a group of people that gives us the liberty and the ability to do what we've been doing for years and years and years, and without our veterans, none of us would be up here doing what we do and living in the country that we live in. So I think just because of recognizing our veterans, you know, $200 is a great gesture on the town's part.
So I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Farmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Thornton. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Or do we designate an amount?
200?
200, okay.
Yes, sir. Next is a consideration to sponsor the Stoneville Rotary Fall Festival, and this will be presented by Miss Mitzi Evans. I sure do.
You should already have one of
I do, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, and I And just want to start out by telling you a couple of the things that we hope to be able to do this year. Each year we fund some projects at Stoneville Elementary School. We try our best to keep our fundraising local and contribute back locally. So last year we had literacy materials for special needs class. This year we are funding music and arts programs up to $1,000 this year. We're also excited, now this is a countywide thing, but we are very excited. What we have is called a Good Nights Grant, and we're preparing duffel bags for children who are in emergency placement situations with comfort items, books, socks, hygiene kits, that sort of thing. That's up to $1,000 also. What I'm here tonight is to ask your sponsorship for the Fall Festival, because that is our biggest fundraiser. It's our number one thing that we do each year. And everybody should be very familiar with that. We have a great time, but we do rely on our sponsors to help throughout the year by donating funds. From what I understand, the town has given $500 the last 2 years, so I would at least like to ask that, unless you all in favor. But anyway, if you can make a corporate sponsorship to the Rotary Club of Stoneville, we certainly would appreciate it.
I'm gonna make a motion that we do the $500 sponsor. You know, this is something that we do every year, and it's one of the biggest events that done in the town of Stoneville, and we get that money back by just the visitors coming here, and they not only come to the Fall Festival, they go to Debbie's, they go to 573, they visit the little supermarkets, and they probably spend that much in gas and food to do that. So I commend you for doing this. The only thing I'll say is, Mr. Stanley's been here the last 2 years, and I think Miss Evans is a little bit prettier than Bobby, but we'll still I'll make that motion that we give the $500. But I just want to thank the Rotary Club, because, you know, they don't have a large group of folks involved in their program, but they do a lot of good for this town, and they are great servants to not only the town, but to the people of this town, and I appreciate what y'all do, and that's what small town is all about, is doing these events to bring people to our community and giving back to the people here as well as bringing people here. So thank y'all for what y'all do.
And I second that motion.
So we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Farmer, a second from Councilwoman Smith. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And to follow up with that, we meet the first and the third Thursday at Debbie's. I'm a president 3 times, will not do it again. She is our upcoming president. We do a lot of good. We've got a lot of upcoming in this town that we're going to be announcing and doing. And I'd be willing to say, and Tammy's a member, and 3 people sitting up here is a member.
Going strong for 80 years also.
Yes, and I imagine probably 90% of what we make stays right here in this town and we get back. There's not a person that comes in our organization that doesn't come in there that we offer and we donate and give back. So we welcome you to come anytime. And I promise you, if you come more than once, we'll ask you to be a member. So thank you, Mitzi. Next is a consideration of the request to review agent of record for the employee benefits, and this will be presented by Mr. Jerry Smith.
Mayor and council, thank you for your time. Let me sit there right there. I hope I've been able to communicate via email and regular mail what transpired over the last few months. Some mistakes were made and they were acknowledged. I'm asking formally to be granted agent of record for the employee benefits for the town of Stoneville based on the information I've sent you. And before I go any further, is there any question about what I've sent? Okay.
Well, I have one too. information that I've seen does not give me any numbers exactly what your information is compared to what the other stuff. The stuff that you sent me is not giving me, I haven't seen that.
I understand, okay.
And to me, it's hard for me to,
I sent it to you regular mail and email.
well, I've looked at it and I don't really see a lot of the difference. But
So, will you explain to us what the agent of record is and how that process will work?
Okay, I represent about 12 to 13 insurance companies. I represent United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Guardian, the three companies that you were presented for employee benefits. I could have submitted Blue Cross Blue Shield and Guardian, as did Salem Benefits. I could have done that. The prices would have been exactly the same. Then you would have had a decision to make based on the prices being exactly the same. The proposals I submitted were misquoted and misrepresented on paper. To the extent my proposals for 5 lines of insurance coverage were going to be $20,000 higher than a vendor from Winston-Salem. When in reality, those 5 lines of coverage would have been $10,000 less expensive had I been able to give you the opportunity to explain what I presented. So you spent $20,000. You thought you were going to. I was presenting $20,000 higher when indeed mine were $10,000 lower. Now, the $10,000 lower, well, it's actually $9,980. If you take that and divide it by 11 employees who are enrolled in your health insurance plan, you could have created a health reimbursement account of $883 per employee. At the same time, if you had purchased United Healthcare, each member would have been given a preloaded debit card of $200. A family with one dependent would have been given a debit card preloaded with $500 for primary care visits, pediatrician visits, urgent care visits, and virtual visits. So in essence, you could have saved $9,990, created an HRA, a health reimbursement account, and each employee on the health insurance would have had $883 plus an additional possible $200 of first dollar health benefits made. You have an excellent package. You've had an excellent package over the years. I used to be the agent of record when Mr. Ken Gamble was the city manager. I was the agent of record. United Healthcare is an excellent company. They're the world's largest health insurance company. Blue Cross Blue Shield is excellent. It's a brand name. Guardian's a brand name. I could have quoted those exact same lines of coverage. Again, your administration made mistakes in printing and publicizing and presented to the council what I proposed. You acknowledge those. Mr. Sands has acknowledged those. So what it created was me being adversely selected against. And I'd like, as a citizen, taxpayer, and a vendor, I'd like to be ordered to business.
Any discussion?
So, what is the liability to some of our policyholders currently that's, let's say someone's already been in the hospital or run up medical bills and they're in the middle of their premiums or their policy right now. And so how does this process make a change?
All right, first of all, I'm not asking you to make a change in your insurance companies. Now, you could do that if you wanted to, because because the agreement you have made with Blue Cross Blue Shield is month to month. Guardian is month to month. You can stop it at any time you want to and replace it. Would you want to do that? Might not be a good idea to do it after 3 months with Blue Cross Blue Shield, but if any of those people had met any of their deductible, the money you could have saved, you could just pay them, they bring in their bill of sale and you reimburse them up to the amount of money you could have saved. Make sense?
Yeah, but we're past that point now.
Okay.
But, I
Well,
mean, is it
you're
any
not
time-
past that, point. I wouldn't personally recommend it. After 3 months. I wouldn't personally recommend it. The first of the year or, your fiscal year is the time to do it. But as a local agent, I've been doing this almost 38 years. In good faith, I proposed products that were not chosen. They were purported to be $20,000 higher. They were in fact $10,000 lower. You were presented the spreadsheet on June the 27th at 9 a.m. for a decision to be made July 1st, for insurance to be effective July 1st. I would have never done that either. I would have given you, I would like a decision to have been made 30 to 45 days ahead of time to get the material to the carrier. It's going to take they probably didn't get their cards until mid-July or later. So on July 1st, a prescription drug could not been filled by an employee with the town of Stoneville, unless you had been provided temporary ID cards. You went on to Blue Cross Blue Shield and created a personal account. You could have gotten one that way. You didn't have hard copies in your hand for 2 to 3 weeks. Any employee can attest to that. So I would like for you to do the fair and just thing. I've referred to the rotary four-way test, so any questions at all? Any?
Well, I'm like Mr. Bennett. I have we made a mistake. We made a mistake, and I apologize on behalf of this council and staff for a mistake that we made. But 2 mistakes is not going to correct it, and I personally think, and I may be wrong, that it might be a mistake to do what you're asking, because if we do what you're asking, then our employees may be in a situation, as Mr. Bennett suggested, if they're already
I'm not asking you to change companies.
well, let me finish. I'll let you talk, okay? Just let me finish, and then you can answer me.
All right.
I do not want any of our employees to be jeopardized because of the mistake, if this council made a mistake. I don't want to jeopardize them, and I don't want them to be penalized if they've already paid for medical care and paid toward deductible. That needs to continue to be applied toward that same deductible that they have right now. They have their cards, they know what their coverage is, and I don't want to do anything to change that right now.
I'd ask you to.
And you're going to save us, you'll save us $10,000, and our employees will keep the existing coverage they have, and it's going to be just like it was.
No, if you had chosen me.
Well, I understand, but what I'm saying now, I can't do anything about you not being chosen. But what I'm saying now, if we did what you asked us to do, the employees will keep their existing medical coverage that they have now, and you're still going to save us. It's not going to be $10,000 now because there's 3 months past, but whatever that difference would be is what you would save us.
If you change insurance companies, that's not what I'm asking you to do. All I'm asking you to do is change your agent. Make me the agent. Keep what you've got, ride right on, acknowledge your mistakes, what you've done. I would like to be the local agent for that, and a formal letter be given to me, deeming me agent of record for the case with Blue Cross Blue Shield and Guardian. That's what I'm asking.
So how does that happen? You are in contact with the Salem group,
No,
and they release it to you?
My agency will provide a letter, you sign it, we send it into Guardian, we send it into Blue Cross, the other agent is notified, they're no longer the agent of the group.
And so what are we paying? We're paying the same thing that Guardian?
Exactly. You keep exactly what you've got.
So we're not gonna be saving anything by doing this? No.
No, you've already committed to.
That's right.
You've already committed to the price. But if you wanted to save 10,000, you could switch to United Healthcare.
But no, I do not think
Okay,
that it's fair to our employees to do
Then
that.
That's not what I'm asking you.
Okay, now, I'm sure we're probably not even supposed to be talking, so, but I understand what you're saying. I personally think that, we made a mistake, and, as I said, I'm sorry that we made a mistake. We have chosen someone to deal with. What I would recommend, and I'm only one vote up here, is that we continue to do what we're doing, and I would just encourage you to, when we get ready to do the bids for next year, which we will, hopefully we'll start that process in January or February, is that you rebid yours, and hopefully you will get it since you are local, because I think at that council meeting, one of the things that I said then was that if your price had been anywhere close to what these other folks were, I would have chosen you. And I think what would have been good, if you'd have been here for that meeting, you could explain to us if the numbers that we were getting was wrong. Because I don't think you were at that meeting, but you knew that item was going to be on the agenda.
I had no idea, and nobody had an idea that those mistakes were made until the 27th of June. You were already way past when you should have done it.
But what I'm saying, though, you knew we had the meeting, you could have come and
That's a
think we need to
side
shut this
point. I appreciate what you're saying, I understand.
but I just don't.
I'm asking you to admit your mistakes, acknowledge your mistakes, and make a change.
Well, I admit our mistakes. I'm not sure that changing something now is in the best interest of what we're doing. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so do we have to have this, since this is on the agenda, do we need to make this in the form of a motion?
Ms. Russell says you don't need to decide tonight.
We need to decide
Well,
tonight.
we're gonna decide something tonight, we do know that.
Well,
But
we do need to
have
make it
put it on
formal.
do we have to do it in the form of a motion?
I think so.
I didn't hear what she said.
Let me get Russell.
Yeah, I think we do need to do it.
Well, my question, Mayor, while she's doing that.
Yes.
In the beginning, if you had provided a request for proposal, I sent you some of those, y'all seen those? I sent one from the city of Danville, sent one from the city of Graham, sent one from the Rockingham County government. Those are what real requests for proposals look like. Ms. Greer, you didn't get a chance to see those today? An email?
I received the email, yes.
Okay. All right, you come from an HR background, right? All right, what do you think about those RFPs?
We were in training today, so I
Okay.
didn't get that.
All right. So I sent you some examples of some proper requests for proposals that could have been used, should have been used from a municipality, okay? That is the way municipalities conduct business. You send out an RFP for a broker, or you send out an RFP to several brokers who are going to provide you prices for insurance. You had one broker that did that, you had another broker, me, that did that. Didn't know what you were looking for. No one ever said what you had and what you wanted. There was no track to run on, there was no packet. Councilwoman Smith, you were an employee of a Fortune 500 company for over 20 years in HR, right?
Yes,
Okay,
and let me speak to that.
okay.
HR has its process. The process doesn't change. This council has a process. The council was not involved in this selection process. We were involved in the fountain. And so what I'm hearing is you're suggesting that we change our process. We accept your suggestions, but that doesn't change the decision that has been made. That's two different things.
No, not the process. I'm asking you to correct the mistake.
Oh, I thought you
made.
were standing there giving us a process, the way we should have done it.
Well, okay, let me retract the word should, could have.
Oh.
Could have. All right, wait, I'm not trying to tell you how to do business, but I think an RFP would have been better served by all parties involved. You know,
And I'm just saying, we appreciate your
I
input.
understand.
So you were saying, Mr. Russell's not here tonight, so you were saying he said we did have to do this in the form of a motion?
Yes,
I
he
mean,
said if you want to make a decision
You
tonight.
can sleep on it today, or you can,
No.
So, did you have a motion, Councilman Farmer? Were you gonna do that in the form of a motion?
I think Lee got a question.
You
Okay,
was talking about being
sorry.
the agent on record. How does that work? I don't understand.
I provide you with a template. You can transfer that template over to your letterhead. It will say, Dear Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, we are informing you that the town of Stoneville would like to make an agent of record change. Group number XYZ, sign it, that's all that's required, and for Guardian also.
No. So let me be clear, Mr. Smith.
It's a two-document thing to do, very easy.
Let me be clear. You are not asking this council to change insurance companies.
Correct.
You're asking us to take it away from Salem and give it to
Correct.
you. I've never heard of that.
That happens all the time, agent of record.
Okay. Then that is what we need to vote on, right?
Correct.
Well, I like to, Mr. Smith, I apologize if there was a mistake made when it was presented to staff. Staff in good conscience made a motion to enter into an agreement with Salem Insurance, I think is the name of the company, and we made that agreement with them. I apologize if the information we received on yours was not correct, but I want to do what's right for the employees, and I'm going to make a motion that we stay with our agent of choice right now, which is Salem, and continue to move on and encourage you to rebid when we do the bid process in 2026.
So we have a
In the form
motion.
of a motion.
All right, I have a motion from Councilman Farmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Councilwoman Smith. All in favor? Opposed? We have one. You're not voting at all? You
Based
said,
on the facts that
I don't,
I really don't know if it's going to affect our employees or not.
No, not a bit.
well, I don't think, since you are present, I think the attorney can, I don't think, if someone's present, they cannot abstain from voting unless they're not here. If you're here, you have to vote yea or nay.
So,
I think the
Kurt,
way-
you have questions?
I think
Let's- we can
that's the way
address
the
your
process
questions.
is.
That's the way it goes.
Well, again, it's a lot of unknowns to me. I mean, I'm not an insurance person. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could go wrong and cause somebody a whole lot of problems in their life.
If what?
If something goes wrong
Like what?
with the insurance
Like
policy
what?
that they have, I don't know.
I'm not
Judge.
asking you to change insurance. I didn't ask you to change insurance.
Well,
You made a $10,000 mistake, and I live here, my property taxes just went up 87%. I just got a 25% utility increase. I'm a local vendor. You gave it to a vendor in Winston-Salem who never visited in person, correct? Never visited it, correct? Right. Never visited in person. You honored the mistake and gave the business to a Winston-Salem vendor. I represent Blue Cross, I represent Guardian. I think there's already been 3 votes anyway, right?
yes, so we had a motion from Councilman Farmer, a second from Councilwoman Smith. All in favor was Johnny, Councilwoman Smith, Thornton, you were opposed, and, Miss Attorney, I'm sorry, I don't have your name. Does he have to vote yes or no?
Well, there's three.
Well, either way,
yes.
we gotta put on record what he puts.
Mr. Bennett's vote would be a yes if he does not vote.
What'd she say? I can't
She
hear.
said if you did not vote, then it would be counted as a yes. If you vote, but you,
That's what I thought. I'll give you a up or down. I say no.
so we have 3 yeses and 2 nos, correct? Okay,
Is there any more room for discussion from me?
I think there's 3 yeses and 2 nos, there's no other discussion, correct?
So this council is gonna acknowledge mistakes, right? You're acknowledging mistakes were made to my detriment for me to be adversely selected against. That's what you've acknowledged, correct? Madam Clerk, make sure you have that down correct. I want to send you an email to be made a part of the permanent record too, okay?
Okay, motion carries.
I don't appreciate it.
Consideration to convert the part-time public works position to a full-time position. And this will be from, Mr. Sands?
I'm gonna turn the floor over to Mr. Howard Curry for his request. It's basically one stated to convert his current part-time, which is 3.5 days a week, to a full-time position. And there's a variety of reasons, one of which he is currently down one full-time position due to medical, and then the fact that with the increase of some of the houses, et cetera, that are being put up, and the improvements that are there, that the desire is to increase his capacity to be able to get those things.
Do you have any further discussion on it?
Just to add, at current, we're stretched pretty hard just to keep things at even, just go a long ways to help us stay afloat.
I have a couple questions. My first question, was it last year that we approved the part-time to full-time?
Yes, sir.
So it was about this time last year we did the same thing. And my memory's not what it used to be, but I think at that time, I think my question at that time, is this gonna help you take care of what you need to do? And we also let you hire part-time, continue to have a part-time. So we hired a full-time and did a part-time. So now we're asking for another one. And so I guess my biggest question is, and this goes to the town manager too, is that normally when personnel is requested, it's requested during the budget process. And it's hard for me to understand why we didn't ask for it during there instead of 2 months after the season, after we get started in the new budget year.
I will say one of my full-time guys needed to be on medical leave for more than 3 months if he comes back.
So you got a full-time person on medical leave right now?
Yes, sir, since August 7th.
Okay, so I didn't know that. So that's the thing that we, I guess, if this person comes back full-time, are you okay with the way you're set up right now? What if we?
Currently, the part-time position doesn't share any on-call, doesn't work after hours, and doesn't have any weekend responsibilities if we have an emergency.
Yeah. But what I'm thinking is if it's a temporary thing, we could approve for you to allow this part-time person to work 40 hours a week, and then when the person comes back, we go back to normal. But are you saying there's enough justification and there's enough work that once this other full-time person come back, you got enough 40-hour-a-week work for the new guy?
Absolutely.
Because it really didn't, I don't have a problem doing this, but I'm not gonna be here but I would recommend for this council, if you're gonna approve personnel, it needs to be approved during the budgetary process and I know you've got, and I guess I'm a little perturbed about the whole thing, is we were looking to hire we budgeted to hire somebody in administration, but we're not gonna do that, we're gonna hire somebody in public works. So was that person in finance even needed?
So I will say, we still are in need at Town Hall. The issue that we've run across is that of the applicants we've received, no one has any experience in the areas in which we were looking at. So we are looking at other options to address, because the primary deal with that particular person was going to be planning and zoning. So we've been in discussions with the county trying to alleviate some of that, so that when these housing development subdivisions were being put in, that we had the capacity to handle that. And so we're seeking the expertise of the county to assist us with that in the interim. So that's the reason that we felt like we could adjust the salary to Public Works, because at the same time, he's going to need that capacity to be able to address the new homes as well.
So I guess my next question is, what happens tomorrow you get an applicant that meets all the qualifications that you need for administration? Are you going to come back to this council and say, well, I've got an applicant now, I want to hire a full-time person for that? Would you do that?
At this point, no. We like, as I said, we've been in discussion with Ben Curry at the county level to address which would be the majority of the responsibility of the new individual. So at this point, we're not necessarily looking at that position. If there were to be another position added at the town hall, it would be more in the support of the billing at this point rather than planning and zoning. So it would be at a different tiered level position.
Well, but to me, the town hall position is probably as critical as the one in public works, because you're getting ready to do 81 houses, and you probably got another close to 100 that you're getting ready to do within the next 90 to 120, 140 days down there behind Price Street down there in that development down there. I'm sure as soon as they finish the one there on 770, that they're going to come in and ask for that to be done. So you're going to have that too. So and that'll probably be after I'm not on the council anymore. But there's a process when you normally ask for personnel, and that's done during the budget process, because you should know during the budget process if you're going to need somebody. You don't know that 2 months after the budget is already started.
But I think what Byron's saying is your gentleman went on sick leave on August the 7th, correct? So that was after the budget, so you didn't know that they needed and you're saying it's pretty much, you think, maybe
There's been some
permanent.
extenuating circumstances that I can't really get into when I open forum, but.
That you're thinking it may be
There's
longer.
needs there, and I do have more work than what we were able to complete tonight.
But he's still saying even if we did it until the other guy come back, he still thinks that he needs that full-time person. That's what you're saying, right, Byron? That's what I'm understanding.
Yes, sir. So you're going from 3 days a week, to 2 more days a week.
And so what about the
18 more hours.
What about that
16.
part-time position? Is that gonna go away?
Part-time position would go away and be filled with full-time position.
So you would not have any part-time people if this person was made full-time, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said it's about $22,000?
That was the estimate based on current pay rate and the retirement and everything that was be associated with that position, correct?
Okay.
So, can I jump in here, Mr. Farmer?
Yes, sir.
How long, can I ask this, how long has it been since this gentleman was hired? Is that possible?
Yeah, you can.
When was he hired?
Are you referring to the part-time position or the,
Whoever's on medical leave.
Oh, he was hired a month after me. So he's been here a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Okay. So, I mean, the way I understand, if we can do it within the budget, why can he not do it? And that's the key there.
That's
I wouldn't care whether it's 6 people or 4 people, as long as we do it within the budget that we've approved. Can you do that?
Yeah, I agree with you.
But you gotta transfer $22,000 out of administration, though. That's what you're doing, is you're taking money out of administration and adding to Public Works to fund that part-time to full-time. That's correct, right?
This is a budget amendment right now.
Yeah.
There is a budget amendment in the package,
If
should
it's
you
approved.
consider this. But at this point in time, that was the rationale. There may be sufficient funds in Public Works as we approach, but again, with the uncertainty of water usage, et cetera, we couldn't guarantee that, so in order to be sure that we cover the position, that's what we were looking at, moving it from the admin salary line to Public Works.
But the thing, the reason, if we're gonna do it, if you're gonna make it a full-time position, you need to make it, because when you do the budget next year, the difference gonna be in the budget next year, because you're gonna end up paying $22,000 more. So you need to do the budget amendment to show you exactly what you're spending in that department. So I don't have a problem doing it if it's needed and everything. Let's just do it during the budget time. It'll be a whole lot easier on everybody up here instead of having to do that.
And I will say that, I don't know if it was within the first week or so of me starting the position, that was a point of discussion that Byron and I had, that he would like to see us move that direction. But then when he went to proposing his budget, we left it as is, just to make sure that we were within the budget that we could produce for Public Works at that time. So it was a point of discussion, but at the end of June, we opted to stay as is for that moment.
Okay. And the guy that you're gonna promote from part-time to full-time, has he been with the town a pretty good length of time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, some of these extra projects we've approved recently has happened since we prepared the budget, actually, I know we did 81 homes tonight, and had some other projects that's been approved recently. Is your labor need gone way up? Are you doing some things that you didn't think you were gonna be doing?
If I could get it done, all of it done. We do pretty good at keeping things moving in a positive direction and as much of public request as we can meet. Obviously, we can't do everything for everybody, but we try to do as much as we can.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve staff's recommendation to convert the part-time Public Works position to a full-time position, and we think that that it will be paid out of funds from administration. There'll be a budget amendment for that.
So you said that you have the budget amendment here. Is that
It's
correct?
Yes, ma'am, it's in the later on section of, it's actually under item number 6.
Right. So what we'll do is make this motion, and then we'll make that motion there to do for the budget amendment for
Right.
that. So we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Farmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilman Thornton, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is a consideration to approve the street paving proposal. Who will,
So I know y'all been anxious for this one. So when we got our report back from Withers and Ravenel, that was lengthy. Going through it, and with the budget that was proposed, for what all we could get done, I'm making a recommendation for the areas of Mebane Street, Clark, Stone, Glendale, Golden Eagle, and Huntley, that whole neighborhood, to go through the first round. I'm gonna call that phase 1. The first round of paving, I think because the roads are some of the poorest in town. They're some of the most traveled roads and most seen roads. And I think it would go a long way for a good starting point. You can see that I've listed the lengths and conditions as reported, costs. Now, these are the Withers Ravenel costs. These costs could be more or less depending on who we budget this out to, time of year that we have it done. Even if we start taking bids now, we're probably looking at, I don't see it getting started before late fall, maybe early spring at best. Like I said, and if council would like me to try to push that, then I could start the bidding process and see how fast we can move with that. I know there were some questions as to some of the other roads in town, West Matthews, Forest, Joyce, equally in bad a shape, but we have upcoming water line replacement projects, and I would really hate to pave a road and then cut it right back up. to put
How
new
did you
water.
know I was going to ask that question?
Because I already asked that question.
But no, that's the reason why.
Okay.
The state maintained roads I purposely left off because we don't do that. Any roads that are down for water line replacements, I would like to hold that until phase 2. As you can see, from this little bit here, which like I said, I would think it's, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, I will go with whatever council decides. But that's $355,000 and a little change. That would give us about a 20% cushion if prices go up, adjust, or if we don't spend it, we could still put that back to phase 2 and add to it. Because I expect that's going to be at least as expensive, if not more than this. Any questions from council?
The only question I had is, when I looked at the report, they had a lot of roads in there and a lot of estimates on what the whole thing was, but it didn't give me a total price on what all the projects were.
I think you were just printing off, what was it, Appendix A or Appendix B? There were 3 parts to that report.
In the digital section, digital copies of those files, there was a full spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. You would have had to have drilled all the way down to the very last page.
Did we get all that?
Yes, it was included in the digital.
Because I've got the spreadsheet with all the thing on there, but I don't
Yeah,
see.
there's a much more thorough, or,
I couldn't find it, so.
but it was roughly $1.7
$1 million?
was their overall project cost to address every road in town.
1.7 million.
Yes, sir.
So, and I know that one of my motions during the budget was that we appropriate roughly $500,000 for road repair. Part of that was power bill and part of it was $250 from the general fund, or a little bit more than that. So I would just encourage the council, if you did this for 3 years, or just 2 more years in the future, we could get all of our roads taken care of, and I think that we should be continuing to be able to get save reserves, the additional homes and everything, so that you're able to put money toward paving each year and get this caught up. Should be able to get it caught up within the next 5 years, and I think that the roads are like our water and sewer lines. They're in bad shape, so we need to get our roads taken care of, and those are one of the first things that the people see and remember when they come into your community, of the roads.
Yeah, because there was a couple charts that y'all had on the back of that that said that 41.8% of our roads are in poor.
Right.
And we talk about milling them down and rebuilding them, not just covering them.
Yep. So,
That's the most expensive.
And I understand that we did put money in for the parking lot, and, I may make some people angry, I don't care. I wish we'd use that money on doing the roads. I know that we got that parking lot down the gravel, and I don't think you'll get it done for 44,000, because
I've
somebody,
already got a bid for that.
if they've come in and
Already come in
they
and
know
said
that they
it's
need to
acceptable.
do compaction test and everything, because were you here when we had that big hole out there?
Yes, sir.
It was filled up with, I mean, there's probably, ain't no telling what's in that hole down there. So,
The company that was gonna do it was, I think the end price was 41.5 and change, but that was, we're taking gravel all the way up, hauling in probably 6 inches of fill, compaction, 6 inches of base coat, 4-inch stopping.
okay. Well,
I think he was, familiar with the company that did the bid.
I'm glad that we finally getting some roads done. We've had one road done really in about 4 or 5 years. That was, I think the last road we had done was Lemon Street, and that's been a while, so thanks staff for getting on this, and, I don't know if anybody's got anything or not. If not, I'm gonna make a motion, but if somebody got something to say before I make a motion.
Yeah, I do. So you wanna make a motion?
No, you go
No, you
ahead.
go ahead and talk, Mr. Bennett.
We got two that look almost identical here, and so you were naming off those streets. One of them looks like it's alphabetical order, and it's saying ascending street listings. Yeah, it is alphabetical, so you didn't name King in that group, did you?
No, sir, because King and Oak Lawn are on the list for water line replacements.
Good.
So that would be what I would call phase 2. After the water line work was completed, then we would go back and pave those streets.
So are we gonna take care of that erosion down there, or water runoff, or whatever?
As best we can.
Is the state gonna be involved in this, or just us?
On King and
Like
Oak Lawn?
putting another top on that road on King?
No, we'll have it repaired properly. Because once we put that water line in, we're gonna rip up a good part of that road.
Okay, one more thing.
And so you said Hunley is in this bid.
Hunley is in this bid.
Okay,
I
so
just
we'll make
linked it
sure.
in with the, Clark and Stone.
Okay.
Yeah, we got school buses running through that area there. Goes into Hunley and loops back around on Matthew Street.
Yes, sir.
They are hard to make a turn. Okay, that's all I got, Mayor.
The only thing I say is that parking lot. I'm gonna go back to what Johnny just said. It's the first thing you see. I'm gonna go by what Mr. Chris was saying here, Mr. Avis. He needs parking spots.
Well,
We need parking spots.
So the thought was, when I was approached to price this out, was that they're getting ready to do some renovations to the post office, being in the center of town, and that was a really good price for what all the work needs to be done there. And parking in the downtown is, it's at a premium.
Is that the only quote you got? Is
Sir?
that the only quote you got?
No, sir, I got 3 quotes, that was just the lowest one.
I mean, you think about the bank coming here, how many public parking places is in that bank? If you have 4 people working there, I'm gonna give you 3 people working there, and you have 5 customers, you know. I look at people, I'm gonna use my daddy for example. He does not park on the street because he's not getting in and out as quickly as other folks. No offense. But I mean, he parks there in that bank parking lot for a reason, so he can open up his store and get in and out at his leisure and not having to rush on doing something
And
else.
I was kind of looking more to the line of like town events,
Exactly.
you know, if they could set up there, or, you know, Christmas or
Well,
May Day.
you got Christmas, you got the
whatever
bank.
else we so have come.
It's just, it's an eyesore, it's ugly. It's ugly. There's nothing, I pull out of there every single day and look at it. I mean, the streets need it. I'm not saying everybody needs it, and
I'm
it's
trying
not
to correct something that was done before. my
Byron, I
time.
appreciate everything you do. You know, it's not a time I don't ride by here that y'all are busy and doing what you do. So I appreciate it. I'm just saying, that everything needs to be done, but that's just not
And
pretty.
I have a question. when we did the budget, we said there was gonna be a total of $500,000 for the paving. And if you look at this expense report that Byron gave us, it's only only $450,000. Where's that other $50,000 at?
So if you look at the header sheet, it says 250 and then 198,000, which was in the current Powell bill line item. We have not received the first installment on Powell bill for this year. So we're anticipating another 44,000 coming in Powell bill this year.
So that money will also,
Go
will
into
be
the,
coming back to us to spend that money hopefully by the end of the year for roads also, because you can probably get a couple done within the 48,000.
So I'd kind of like to start with a smaller footprint. Like I said, that being around the school and that section of town is already going to be highly disruptive. Considering it's been a good little bit since we've had anything paved, I would like to start with a smaller scale, to find a good company, to build a good relationship, and, you know, hopefully hit the ground running on the next level of projects. You know,
But
I'm trying to start a little slow, just kind of bear with me.
and Councilman Farmer, I also say, in addition to that, there's still 20,000 that is not allocated on this header sheet that we reserved for him, because there is still sections of town that's going to require some patching.
Right.
So there's an additional 20,000 that was put in his budget for just
Right.
patching.
I just want to make sure that we get the most for that $500,000, because I know we're getting it this year. You don't know what's going to happen next year budget, so I just, we want to get as much as we can for the road repairs as we can. So nobody else has anything, I'm going to make a motion that we approve the road resurfacing information that was presented by staff.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Farmer. A second? Second, Councilman Shelton. Any further discussion?
I want to clarify one thing. I had a discussion with someone the other day that people were not going to be able to park in the bank parking lot anymore because the bank was here. Is that going to continue to maintain to be public parking?
So the lot next to the bank will continue to be public parking, but the bank is, or the credit union is also being acknowledged that they will be able to, or we told them they would also be able to use it for customers. So it will still be a parking for public purposes.
We don't need to show an ID out there whether you park it.
So we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Byron. The next is a consideration to approve the budget amendments that we just spoke about. It would be 09092025-1 and -09092025-2. And that was per the discussion that we just had for number 4.
I make a motion to approve that.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor from
Second.
Councilman Bennett, a second, Councilwoman Smith. All in favor? Further discussion? Opposed? Motion carries.
So with those budget amendments, one of them was for the 22,000, and the other one you had one in there for 200,000, right?
So that particular one you're referring to is due to the fact that we did not have the line item in there for the grant because it was not awarded until after July 1. So this is simply to add that line
I
item.
don't have a problem with that. I
Yeah.
just want the public to be
Right.
aware of it, because we talked about the 22,000, but we didn't
Right.
said anything about that, and I think now, since what we're doing is we're doing a budget transfer or budget amendment, we're getting a $200,000 grant from the state to upgrade this building here, the old Fidelity Bank building, and the work is being done down there now, and so Mayor, you or Michael, one might want to, or the manager, administrator, may want to update the public what's going on if you're able to do that. Now, I know there's been articles in the paper about it,
What we're doing to upgrade?
and what's going to be there, because I think
Well, it's going to be an acclaimed credit union. Their whole goal, they're going to have a business account. They can have business accounts there. If you see them what they're doing now, they're going to take down all the wood. They're going to keep it as the brick like it originally was. From what I understand, and I'm really pushing to this, they're gonna have, maybe 2 parking places where you can do convenient, you park there and they do curbside banking. Because we really listen to people, even though you have that drive-through, I'm thinking that drive-through is probably not gonna be there, right?
They are going to have a drive-through system.
It's just not gonna be
It's
exactly.
not going to be face-to-face, it will be
Right.
through a camera system.
Right, and they're gonna have it different inside. They're gonna have it, they've sort of flipped it. If you go in these banks, I guess they were built way before time, so the vaults are always on the opposite side, even at the town hall. So they're gonna move the tellers and everything, and they're gonna have more like individual for folks, and they're gonna be on the right-hand side. So they're running ahead of time now. I try to go down there, and Michael does too, a couple times a week. We're blessed to have them. We're the only town in the county that has this credit union, and they are good folks. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it. I mean, every time I meet with them, they're impressed. They're gonna work really close with the children. I know the first 100 children that open up an account, they're gonna put $100 in it, and it's yours to keep. So, and I think their percent rate's like 5% for kids, up to 18. And there are gonna be a lot of individual customized, like if you go in, if Christie can give you the loan, it's not gonna be all this stuff that you gotta fill out all this stuff. It's all about business and building relationships. So when they're there, support them. We've worked really hard to get them here, and we need to support this, because we've got something nobody else has. We don't get to say that often, so we are very blessed.
And I think that, they're gonna try to hire local people, and there's a job fair coming up.
They have had their job
They have
fair.
had their
They have
job
had
fair.
several interested candidates, and actually have been in contact with those individuals to bring them in. So
They've
that is correct.
interviewed several.
And they're also, in addition to that, they're also going to have, we haven't got it scheduled yet, but in the next month or so, an acclaim day where they're going to actually have where community members can come in
Yep.
and actually interact with them so that they explain the different types of accounts. Go ahead and set up an account for you if you want, interested in doing that. So that is in the works. So just be looking for that information. We'll have it posted in multiple places just so that you can know that that's the day and can come out and actually have conversations with some of the bank employees.
And they will be here for the Fall Festival. They're our major diamond sponsor. When I asked her to do it, she didn't even bat an eye. So go out to them, talk to them, let them know that you appreciate them. Next, sir.
So, and Mr. Farmer was talking about the 200,000, is it my understanding that we're going to contribute some as a town?
The 10,000 that we allocated in the budget in anticipation of receiving the loan was already in the budget. So it is already there in a line item. This amendment was simply to transfer, to show that that expense and that revenue would be in the budget now because the previous. So the 10 is already there, the 200,000 goes along with that.
Right.
Correct.
The upcoming, do you have anything on your administrative report?
I was just going to make a couple of announcements or comments. So we're going to be working with a group of citizens regarding the planning stages for holiday events, Christmas events, that kind of thing. And in addition to that, we're looking at trimming of the Christmas tree just to make it nice, shape it up there. So that's going on there. And so we're working with a couple of people on identifying people who are interested in serving in that capacity to help with those. A couple of things that was on the agenda from previous that I was supposed to respond to. So I know the question has come up about King Street. We have been in consultation, I promise you, with Bill Lester about looking at that issue. Byron's been involved in some of those conversations. At this point, Bill still does not have a good recommendation on how we can address the concerns that Mr. Hodge had previously. So we are still in that discussion. And that's pretty much, the rest of them have been covered already. So.
Okay, thank you. We have a blood drive coming up this Friday. It's from 11 to 2. It will be at the town hall. The cruise in, this is our last one of the year, so it's coming up on the 19th. It'll be from, it says 5 to 8, but usually they clear on out about 7 o'clock or so. Come up and support that. Ace Hardware is having their ribbon cutting and grand opening. It will be on the Friday before Fall Festival on the 26th. If you've not been there, go there. I cannot say enough about them. You walk in, they remember who you are, and hey, they may even carry your stuff to the car, right, Leah? Leah's here. Since they have opened, Leah that works there has been to every meeting that we've had here, so we appreciate you and what you do. But they are valuable to this community, but they have got to have the support. So go in there. Their prices are the same. I'm telling you, you'll go in there and you can price shop with Lowe's and everything's the same. So if not better, right? Better customer service, I bet you. So go in there and meet them and try to go to that ribbon cutting. I know I've had a whole lot of people ask about door prizes, so they'll have some cool door prizes. And as discussed, our Rotary Fall Festival is September the 27th, and it's from 10 to 5. There's a lot going on that day. That is like a big family reunion. Yes, Tammy?
I want to say something about that. I would like to see, I hope everybody from the town is able to come. The people on the board, some of us is gonna be there anyway, but it'd be nice to see y'all walking around. A lot of people say they don't love to see it, so they might come up and complain to you, but they might still talk to you. They'll say, oh, man, I seen her at the Fall Festival. But anyway, and I've got 115 vendors right now. That's the most we've ever had. So I would like to do a shout out of the world. We want them, they close off the street, they get closed for me, or they got the stuff out there for it, the police department, and fire too, because, you know, if they have calls, they gotta run those calls. And get everything done. We've got a lot of different variety this year that we've never had before.
And it's like a family reunion. You see people there that you don't see. They look forward to coming in. So, good Lord willing, it does not rain. That'll be a great event. Next is the bingo. We're going to continue the bingo. It's this Thursday at the Vera Holland Center. From what I understand, there's like normally about 25 or 30 people there. Becky's department, Harold, is going to start doing that. So that'll be a good event. So, you know, try to go that. If you have anything you want to donate as door prizes, they will take that also. Our next council meeting is on October the 7th at 6 p.m., and I think that's all we've got going on today.
Mayor, one additional thing, and I forgot to mention it. I did receive a letter from the Museum of Archives of Rockingham County where the board agreed to contribute $4,000 in recognition of what they do for the county. So I did receive a thank you letter from the executive director acknowledging that, and just they wanted to make you aware of that tonight.
Okay, thank you. At this time, do we have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion from Councilman Shelton, a second. Second, Thornton, all in favor? We are adjourned.